Good morning, guys. It's Working, bringing you a quick update on EOS. Hope you all are having a wonderful week. We're looking at EOS to the dollar on the 4-hour chart, Bitfinex. And last time we spoke, guys, EOS. In fact, I'm going to go back to my prior analysis here, which is right here. This was the last EOS analysis I gave you guys. I believe it was on Friday. Price was sitting at around 7.80, about 7.80. I said we were looking for a trade setup of price to come down here. I said it was likely going to fall into this golden zone between the 718, or excuse me, the 618 and the 65 fib levels. I said more than likely we'd see price wick into that golden zone. I was going to take a trade if it did. I told you I was going to take a trade at about 7.60 with a target upside of about 7.90 to $8 or thereabouts. We fast forward to today. We can see that that's exactly what happened. Price came down. If I zoom in here, you can see it wicked right into that zone. Bottom was about 7.58. My orders got filled at 7.60. I got out. I let it ride up to $8, and I got out there. Obviously, I could have let it ride much higher. I'm a conservative trader, though, so I do very quick scalp trades. I'm in and I'm out. That's good enough for me. If you guys ended up taking this trade, congratulations. If not, don't worry, there'll be plenty of opportunity ahead. So where are we going from here, guys? Well, since then, obviously, we had that nice bounce right off of the 618. We were looking, it was looking fairly impulsive, at least initially. Then we had price break down. Excuse me. Come back up, followed by another breakdown. We can see here it's created a double bottom right around 7.70. Came up, came right back, came and tested the 7.0, came up, came back down, tested the 7.70, and now has a very impulsive looking bounce right off of there. So almost a textbook double bottom. So where are we looking at price going from here? Well, we need to initially take out. There's a very let me get right here. Looks like some resistance has formed right in this zone, right between about 8.40 and 8.55. We can see prices tried to wick into that zone a couple times, tried to wick into it here quite a few times. So we need to get above that. We need to get above 8.55. If we do get above that 8.55, I think likely we're going to enter into this supply zone between 8.80 and 9.45 or thereabouts. Let me zoom out here to the daily. You can see how that's been a very strong supply zone. Daily charts only been able to wick into it a few times with very strong rejections. So again, very strong supply zone up in here. That should act as a very strong resistance. So again, if we can get up above this 8.55, we're going to likely enter to at least 8.80. We need to take out, the target that we need to take out is this 9.45. If we can get above that 9.45, that is going to create a higher high, at least with this structure here. And if we can break above that, more than likely at that point, we're going to reach up. I don't believe it'll have any problem reaching at least 1030, but we've got to get above that 945. As far as trade setups are concerned, if price ends up dropping down, creating a double bottom here once again on the 618, I may possibly enter a position again, expecting a higher high. As of right now, it's looking rather bullish, so I'm looking to the upside. I'm not seeing any good risk reward to the upside quite yet. Unless you want to just, if you want to take a very tight stop, if price ends up breaking right above the 8.55 and you want to target about 8.80, 8.90, somewhere thereabouts, that'd be a nice little scalp trade for you. I'd keep my stops very tight though. If you did end up taking that, I'm more than likely not going to get interested until we get up into this zone up in here and break 9.45. If we break 9.45 decisively, at that point, I'm going to more than likely enter a trade targeting 10.30. Once it gets up to 1030, I'll probably take, if and when that does happen, I'll take my profits off the table and probably let it ride from there. Let the rest of it ride from there. So these are just my quick thoughts on potential trade setups moving forward. As of right this second, I'm just not seeing anything that for me. Doesn't mean it's looking very bullish. Doesn't mean you may want to enter. If you're looking long term, remember, guys, I'm a short term scalp and swing trader. If you're looking long term, guys, and you're wanting to enter a position that you're not going to touch for another year, by all means, go for it. Only you can decide. This is not financial advice. I cannot tell you what to do by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so from an Elliott point of view, what are we looking at? Let me get rid of this and get rid of this. Okay, guys, I went ahead and drew it out for you to save some time. All right, from an Elliott point of view, we're looking at, of course, a 1-2. We're looking at our third wave now. Our third wave, what is going to be our target? Well, if I just targeted a 1-to-1, I'd be looking right here at the bottom of this 1030 supply zone up in here. That is going to be a very strong resistance, in my opinion. However, If we do end up breaking through that 1030, if price does end up crashing through because we had a deep retracement here, I am expecting our wave 3 to pick up some momentum. More than likely, if we can crash up above this 1095, and that's a big if, but if we can crash above this 1095 and it's looking very impulsive, I'm going to go ahead and with our wave 3 more than likely target about the 1618, which we know is a very likely target for wave 3. They're often the strongest, often the longest, especially if this is the bull run that we're all waiting for, guys, then this is a very logical target. Why do I say it? Not just because it's the 1618 on here, not just because it's the very bottom of this resistance area that I have lined out here at about $12 or somewhere thereabouts, but if remember, guys, always keep your eye on the bigger picture. So I'm going to go ahead and release that release that fib there. Always keep your eye on the bigger picture. What is this? What else could make this zone a possible target? Remember, you're trading against algos. All right. So why would algos target that zone? If we go from our swing low, or excuse me, our swing high to our swing low, we can see that it's not only is it a 161, we can see that it is also a perfect, I mean, literally almost to the dollar, a perfect 618 fib level retracement. And so without question, guaranteed 100%, algorithms have this as a target. Doesn't mean it's absolutely going to get there, but it does mean that this makes a very, very likely target that algos are shooting for, which makes it which hires the possibility, increases the possibility that this will be our wave 3, certainly much more than the this one-to-one retracement right here at about 1030. So this is going to be my target for wave 3, sitting right at the 618 retracement. That's going to be right at about 12.09, somewhere thereabouts, about 1209. So that's what we're looking at for our target of our wave 3. In the meantime, guys, as I said, we do have a lot of resistance to get through, particularly this 9.45. And as I said, if we get above the 9.45, then a very, very logical trade to me would be targeting, entering at about 950 thereabouts and targeting about 1030. So anyway, guys, these are my quick thoughts short term. Looking at our moving averages, we can see that we're, this is on the 4-hour, we can see that we're just breaking the outside of these Bollinger Bands. We can see that the Bollinger Bands were getting squeezed tighter and tighter. We can see that the moving averages also are sitting right on top of one another, guys. That's a very bullish indication for me. That's telling me that considering the market is taking a bullish turn, this tells me that we can expect a breakout. Anytime you see the moving averages converge like this to sit right on top of one another, guys, this tells me that we can expect a breakout in one direction or another. Considering that the market is taking a bullish turn, I can only assume it's going to be bullish, and we may be watching that right now as I'm making this video. We may be watching the start of that breakout. If I look back in the past, guys, anytime we've seen the convergence of moving averages, EMAs, I'm talking about EMAs. So I've got the 8, 21, and 55-day EMA, and the 50-day moving average and 200-day moving average. There is a difference, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to call them our moving averages. So for the purposes of this video, guys, anytime you see the moving averages converge onto each other like this, likely you're going to see a major turn. We saw it back here. We had a major drop. Where else did we see it? We saw it right here. We had a major rise. Where else did we see it? We saw it converge right here. We had a major drop. And where else did we see it? We saw it converge right here. We had a major rise, guys. So anytime you see that, you can expect a larger move to follow. And as I said, as I'm making this video, it looks like that's what we're seeing. Coming into the daily, we can see price is just now, let me get rid of the Bollinger Bands here. Actually, we can see the Bollinger Bands have a lot of room to run. That's actually a rather bullish sign. Tells us that we've got, as I said, just a lot of room to run. Looking at our EMA, we can see price just rose above the 8-day EMA, rose above the 21-day EMA. If we can get price to close at least above the 21-day EMA, that's going to be a very, very bullish sign. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. From there, we're going to be looking at the 22-day EMA, or excuse me, the 55-day EMA. So again, guys, very, very bullish looking sign so far. Okay, excuse me, guys. Had to get a quick drink of water there. Zooming in, or excuse me, looking at the RSI, we've got the daily up now. We can see that the RSI has created kind of a descending resistance. It looks like it's about to come up and test it again for the 4th time. If we can break above that resistance, once again, it's going to be a very bullish sign, guys. We can see down below it may be starting to make a support line, an ascending support line, creating kind of a wedge here. If that is in fact the case, we may kind of see it meander in here. That also suggests a possible breakout as it gets closer to the apex. It may not even go much closer. If we test it again, guys, that'll be a very, very telling point if we can break above that descending resistance line on the daily RSI. Looking at our 4-hour MACD, we can see that it's looking rather neutral. It's just literally the MACD and signal line are almost just kind of wrapping around each other, moving back and forth. We can see that the MACD line just broke above the signal line. We can see that the histogram looks like it may be starting to trend up into bullish territory. So we'll have to wait and see how that ends up playing out. Looking rather neutral for now, though. Looking at the daily MACD is looking rather bullish. We can see it had kind of a double top here, came back down, didn't even correct very far. It didn't phase at all the MACD and signal line. They've still been trending up the entire time. We can see histogram trended down. Now it reached bottom and is starting to trend back up. That's a bullish sign. We didn't even get the histogram to bottom out. Didn't even phase the signal line and the MACD line, guys. So these are all bullish signs of strength in the market. Looking at the stock RSI, it's consolidating, sitting right around 66. That's a very bullish sign. We're sitting in bullish territory. Looking at the 4-hour stock RSI, we can see that it's starting to increase. It's got a little bit of room to run, starting to reach oversold zone. But again, that's the stock RSI. We know that it can sit in the oversold zone, especially if this is the bull run that we're waiting for. It can sit oversold for quite a long time. Looking at the let's see, the 4-hour MACD. Let me get rid of this. 4-hour MACD, or excuse me, the 4-hour RSI. Sorry, guys. Looking at the 4-hour RSI. Let me just leave it here, guys. Sorry about that. Anyway, 4-hour RSI is starting to trend up. We're starting to get into bullish territory. We just got above 55. In my opinion, anything between about 55 and 45 is neutral. You'd like to see the RSI trending above that. So anything in this zone is fairly neutral territory, and anything above that is rather bullish. We're starting to see it's peeking its head out. That's a very bullish looking sign, guys. If we can continue upside and get the RSI to trend above 60, it's going to be a very, very bullish indication, guys. So all things are looking bullish so far. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below, guys. And until next time, this is Working, signing out.